G'day guys, welcome to another Hang Loose Recluse production. I'm going to talk about my experience with the hospital system of Western Australia. I can tell you all that I have been suffering from chest pains in the last week. So the last 5 days I've had chest pains pretty much from Sunday. It's now Friday. I left work early today. I've been battling on all week. I'm the sort of battler. The way the world is at the moment, I'm the type of person that is just going to battle on until I drop dead, basically. I've had my wife nagging me, telling me to go to the hospital and get my heart checked, get an x-ray, whatever, do what has to be done. I couldn't be bothered. I just kept going to work all week. Then Friday, I started feeling a bit crappy today. So I'm like, I was at work and I'm like, bugger it, I will go get it done. And it's Friday, so I'll do it on a Friday. Why do it during the week when it's a weekday? So then might as well have a longish weekend, even though I did go to work for 4 hours. So it was kind of an early break there, but I thought, bugger it, I'll go to the hospital. But I wasn't feeling that great, with the chest pain and all that. It's taken its toll on me because it's been going on for 5 days. Every rattle, even now talking, I can feel the chest pain on the left side. It's like a stabbing pain near my left breast and sort of to the side, around the ribs. But I went to Joondalup Hospital today, okay? So I went there and they told me, it's going to be a 3-hour wait. So I've told them about my chest pain, but it's going to be a 3-hour wait. So I can't understand why they made me wait with chest pain. I don't understand that. Is this the system monster that they've created in the hospitals? Is it? I mean, what the fuck? Anyway, listen to this. What happened was, now, they wanted me to put a mask on, which I obliged. I put a mask on just because I knew that I was the patient. When I put it on with resistance and a few words to them to say how, like stuff like, you guys still pushing this crap? They obviously don't like that, so they didn't like the fact that I said something because obviously they just want me to be a quiet patient. And so I've never been a noisy patient. I've always been a good patient. I've always respected hospitals. I've always respected hospital staff. I'll just say that. And I've always, in my experience of hospitals and that, it's always been a pleasant experience for me. I'll just say that now. But this experience was the worst experience of my life when dealing with hospitals. Anyway, so because I've spoken up a little bit about going to have to put masks on and all that and saying, why are you doing this? I put it on, but I put it below my chin, obviously, talking. Then another nurse comes over and talks to the other nurses at the counter, and she's got hers right around her chin. And I said, see, I'm just going to wear mine just like her. That's how I wear mine. Oh, yeah, I have to do this because I have to say something. I said, I always have to say something too. Anyway, dribble. So, yeah, anyway, they told me 3-hour wait. So I'm sitting there in the foyer and waiting. And after an hour and a half, I thought, stuff this. I'm sitting back feeling like crap because the pain is starting to get to a point where it's just dropping me. Right now I'm laying in bed. I've come home to go in bed, but I'll tell you the story. I get there and I sit there for an hour and a half and I thought, fuck this. What the fuck am I doing here? These dudes are not taking chest pain seriously. So I bailed, I left the joint, and I ended up going to a local freaking doctor's office and went in, and it was a sigh of relief. They weren't wearing masks. No one was wearing masks. There was no mask to be seen. I couldn't believe it. There is no policy or law in Western Australia that says that people in hospitals have to wear masks. It's just the Joondalup Hospital policy is a mask-wearing policy. Now, how can all those workers and all those ambulance officers tolerate that sort of shit? How can they put up with that? I know why, because they've got to get their money to pay their mortgage and all that shit. But so they're all too scared to say no. But they know how fucked it is. Even another counter nurse or clerk at the counter was saying stuff and made reference that, it was pretty stuffed up what they're doing. She said, try 6 hours, because I said, whinging about the masks. This is the second nurse that I spoke to when I was first there, because, first nurse, then you go to another counter and talk, and then she's like, tell me about it, try 6 hours. In other words, she's had it on for 6 hours. But, but then they proceed with, but I have to pay the bills and, pay the house off. So it's all about compliance, and it absolutely is. But anyway, after an hour and a half, took off. But as I was taking off, Three Steves Films was out the front. If you're not sure who Three Steves Films is, go check out his YouTube channel. But I'm sure most of the subscribers that follow the freedom movement will know that Three Steves Films is a person who challenges the system or just uses his rights as a citizen to do what he does, and but always gets the Nazis coming over and trying to arrest him and charge him with criminal offences and all this stuff that are just basically non-existent criminal offences. They just make up the shit as they go. But anyway, it's good to see him. Now I thought, wow, that's awesome. But anyway, that was when I was leaving. I had a bit of a rant to him out the window, and he heard me and understood it. And I said, fuck this, I've been here for an hour and a half. These pricks are telling me 3-hour wait, got chest pains. I obviously don't take chest pains seriously. But anyway, big shout out to you, Three Steves Films. You know how that conversation went down. Thank you, sir. Anyway, so I go to the doctors, the local one, told them about chest pain, the ones where they don't have masks, and they just got me straight through. I'm like, I was sigh of relief because there was no masks on the foyer reception. Nobody in the place had masks on. I saw all these nurses running around, no masks. And they took me into this little side area near the ECG. Got hooked up to the ECG straight away. No masks on either the people, on either the nurses. I was catered for. I was tended for. That was brilliant. So, and then I go to, then I get, then the doctor comes in, but they test me out and said that everything's sort of looking okay there, like with the ECG testing. But obviously, because it's still chest pain, the doctor's written out a heap of notes on the paperwork and told me to go to, go back to the Joondalup Hospital. So basically, he's given me a whole heap of documents. I've done half the Joondalup's job, which they probably should have done in the first instance of someone going in there with chest pain. Even though, I'll tell you now I fell off the scooter on Saturday night and I landed on my left side, but it was my leg and my arm that I landed on, whatever. But I did tell them that. Now, they might have been just writing that off as the fact that it's a scooter injury. I don't even know. That's coincidence. The next day I woke up with this chest pain. So it's not like I've got the chest pain as it happened. It was the next day. So is it coincidence? Coincidences occur. So shouldn't they be taking chest pain seriously? I'm not 100% sure about that. Well, I was under the impression that, yes, they are supposed to take chest pain seriously, but obviously they didn't. And just made me go, wait. But that's because I was a bit vocal about the masks. But it wasn't like I was... you know what it's like. They don't like their authority of put a mask on, please, sir. They don't like that challenged at all. So basically, they were trying to make me suffer. Now, what happens if I go over in the corner where I waited and had to wait for 3 hours and die? Is that on them? Because what they did was basically surely not protocol, because I'm sure anyone with chest injuries, even though I mentioned that I did fall off a scooter 6 days ago, but 5 days I've had the chest pain for. I didn't feel any blow to my chest when I fell off a scooter. I felt a blow to my knee and I landed on my arm, but I don't have a sore arm. There's no other indication that I've got an injury in my upper body. It was just, I was only going slow around a basketball court, but it was one of those soft padded basketball courts that you'll see in the video. You can even see the fall. I fell off doing a live stream around Bunbury Town. I think it was Saturday night. It felt like a bit shit later on as I started unwinding. But then the next day I woke up with a bit of a chest injury, but I just kept ploughing on through, doing what I do, because I'm at the point where I think the hospital system is now a monster. They have created this monster. Now everybody's complying, putting their mask on, doing this, doing that. You got to put the mask on. All the security guys wearing a mask, all the people wearing the mask in the work there. But I guarantee you, when all those security people go on their lunch break and go to somebody's shop, do you think they have respect for that shopkeeper and go and chuck a mask on? I don't get that. No, I guarantee you they do not keep their mask on when they go and buy their lunch or buy petrol in their car, pull up at a service station and walk in and put their mask on. Well, if they're wearing it all day and think that everyone else should be wearing a mask, shouldn't they be wearing a mask everywhere they go just to not be hypocrites? Because surely they're hypocrites. But anyway, they are hypocrites. But anyway, I went back there and I ran into Three Steves Films and Freedom Nikki, if anyone knows. Freedom Nikki's been out and about, done some live streams along the way. Some of you people will know Freedom Nikki. Well, that's not her name, but that's just why I'm going to identify her as. I can't really link her to a channel, so I'll just say Freedom Nikki and Three Steves Films. They were also at the Joondalup Hospital. So that was very interesting that I ran into them there, even when I went back. And told them about my situation of, I was able to take off in the time, and I spoke to Three Steves Films and I said, Steve, when I saw you out the front, I've already been and got this paperwork, which I showed him the paperwork, which I probably will try and pop up on the screen. I'm not going to show everything, name and address and details and all that, but I'll show some information, ECG sort of stuff. And I said, I've gone and got all this information, so I've done half these pricks' jobs. Meanwhile, they're making me wait, all because I probably stood up and said stuff about wearing a mask. And he agreed. Of course, that's the case. It was good to see them in there with no masks on. That was great. Now, when I left, obviously, I gave the crowd a bit of a speech and said, is this what you guys want, the monster of the system they're creating? You all have to come here and put your mask on. And I said, I'm sure when they drive off and go get their petrol or go into a shop, they don't put a mask on. And yeah, a few hecklers yelling out and all this stuff. One guy even swore at me. But meanwhile, security's coming through the doors from behind the scenes. And as they come through the door, I said, Hello, sir. I know people say don't call people sir, but that's my style. That's hang loose, recluse kind of patronising style. Hello, sir. I said, sir, this guy over here is swearing. Arrest him, please. And I took off. I don't know whether they went over to him. I'll have to find out through Three Steve's Films and Nikki whether that did happen. Whether they thought he was the bad guy because I said that he was swearing and I got out of there. Because I had paperwork in my hand. They probably thought this guy's been treated. He's going. And they probably did hassle the guy that I pointed to for all I know because he was closest to the security guy, so hopefully I decoyed that, and that would have been a bit of fun. But very interesting. It was good to see that the camaraderie of Three Steve's Films and Freedom Nicky there. That was great. I'm glad they got to witness what went down there. So hopefully Three Steve's Films can mention something about the system. So I'm going to check his live stream soon to see if they've got some video footage that's coming out. So I will see, because maybe they were going to film something. Maybe something's going to go down and they're going to film something. But I'm sure they're probably thinking, we should have filmed the hang loose recluse doing his little thing. But anyway, when I went back there, because I've gone away, there's heaps of people in the foyer still that was there when I was there. They were in there before me. And I asked some people, I went and sat down with paperwork. This is before I ran into Three Steve's Films and Nikki when I was in the waiting room. And I said to some people, I told them, I said, you know how I was here before? I'm talking to strangers now. And they said, yeah. I said, well, in that time that I was here, I'm here with chest pains that I've had for 5 days. They obviously don't take chest pains seriously. And I said, I've gone off to a local freaking doctor. I've been into the doctor. They've hooked me up to an ECG, done blood pressure tests, and printed out paperwork. And the doctor's seen me, put his stethoscope on me and checked me all out and wrote all of his information, given me a sick leave form for work, and sent me back to the hospital because he said further testing because you've got the chest pains still. So everything came up normal. So obviously I'm not really having a heart attack as far as I know. But chest pain should be taken seriously, I would have thought. But anyway, so I go back there and I told the people that. But then they said, what was your name? And I said, I told them kind of what my name was. And they said, you were called out earlier, I think. And I have a feeling that they called me out knowing that I walked out of the joint, even though I was there after some of the people that were there. So they probably purposefully called me out to place me out the back of the queue because that's their little monster that they're creating to try and teach the guy a lesson that questioned them about the mask wearing. They didn't like that. And there was a head nurse Nazifying going around trying to make people wear a mask. But I never copped that. But there was an old bloke in there that copped it. And you could see he could hardly breathe. He could hardly walk, this old bloke. And he didn't want to wear a mask. And she forced him to wear a mask. He didn't want to do it. But good on him later on. He pulled it down to his chin. But he didn't want to wear one. But anyway, so dribble. The moral of this story is that the Joondalup Hospital can go and get fucked as far as I'm concerned. The hospital system is a monster. Mark McGowan is a cunt. And unfortunately, there is swear words in this podcast. So you probably found that out a little bit too late. Anyway, I did speak to some paramedics when I left the first time and told them how fucked it was that their system wants them to wear bloody masks while they're driving their friggin' vehicles, and they agree. They know it's pretty fucked up, but we got to keep going. We don't want to, but we got to. They all say the same thing. We got to. No, you don't got to. If you'll just stop. But unfortunately, there's too many Nazis that agree with it, like the head nurse that was there. Dribble. This has just been another Hang Loose Recluse podcast as I dribble while it's fresh in my mind. I'm laying in bed. I'm actually feeling a little bit like shit. So the trauma of feeling a little bit like shit all week with the chest pain is bringing me down in bed. I just want to put this message out there in case I die. Don't forget, guys, to hold the Joondalup Hospital accountable. I went there with chest injuries and they didn't take it seriously enough and put me on a 3-hour waiting list to be seen. 3 hours with chest pain. No going through straight away to get hooked up like I thought was protocol. I thought was the case. So if anything does happen to me, but anyway, because they put me back on another 3-hour waiting list, the lady said this is the second time after I went there, and I said, does that mean I have to wait 3 hours because you called my name out? Oh, that's right, because the people said they called my name out in the waiting room. So I went and asked the nurse, and she said, yes, we did call your name out. And the lady said that she remembered me being there, so she recognised me in the back corner of not wearing a mask. And so obviously they're taking note of that, trying to torture me and teach me a lesson because we're second-class citizens, you see. Anyone who they see as unvaccinated, which obviously I am because, you know what, if I was vaccinated, I'd be wearing a mask, wouldn't I? Because that's what vaccinated people do. Vaccinated people wear masks. Because they originally went and got a vaccine to prevent them from getting the C-19 or whatever the hell you like to call it these days. But then they still have to wear a mask. And even when we said you'll be forced to wear masks, they still denied it. Said, no, you won't. No, you won't. Well, now look, you're at the hospital lining up with your 3 vaccines and still having to wear a mask. Get that from bloody reality, guys. That's a reality check if you haven't seen it. So why are they having to wear their mask if they're all vaccinated and they've all probably had the bloody virus, or the so-called virus, because I don't believe in testing. I think you should just, if you get sick and don't feel like going to work, then don't go to work. Why would you want to go and test yourself? Who cares? Just get on with life, mate. You're sick, you're sick. You're not going to die. You're not going to die from this silly virus. Nobody does. Well, do they? I don't know. Do they? I don't think they do. I think they made up the numbers, but I don't know this for a fact, all right? I don't know that. That's not fact. That's just what I think. It's just an opinion piece. Anyway, dribble. This is just a hang loose recluse style dribble, as I'm very pissed off here right now. And what I'm going to do now is show you guys the rant that I went on when I left the Joondalup Hospital. I'm pretty ropeable by this stage, guys. Have a listen to this ropeable bloody audio that I made. Now, this is only for the people who got this far into this podcast, because you know who you are and you will hang around and have a listen. I'm going off in this next audio. Now, I didn't have me special mics with me or anything. I just had the mobile phone, so I had to put it on the sun visor and just yell because, you know, I knew that it was a bit far away from my head like normal if I was going to talk into the mic. So I'm yelling, but it is a bit distorted. I apologise for that because I didn't have the proper equipment to record it properly. So I hung it up on the sun visor and just made a big rant, and this is it. Well, actually, I won't play it yet. Hang around. It's coming. I'm going to show it. I'm not going to finish this rant, and then I'm going to show it to you. So hopefully we've weeded out the people who don't want to hear bad swearing from Hang Loose Recluse, because I'm pretty fucking ropeable by this stage. I just want to point that out to people. I am very ropeable by this stage. The fact that they have not taken people with heart injury or chest pain seriously, all for whatever reason, because they want to stigmatise the person that questions them over why are you... Because that's the first thing I said. When they said, oh, excuse me, sir, can you please put a mask on? I said, are you still doing that crap? You know, obviously they don't like that. So, you know, straight away they've already not put me in this category of I'm an aggressive patient. But the thing is, I did say it in that type of way, and it might have come across as aggressive, but it's my way of sort of saying, are you guys still doing that crap? You know, in a funny kind of way. I'm not trying to be too aggressive. It's just a bit of fun for me because it's just fun. But it's making a point because I'm Hang Loose Recluse, guys. Even I rolled in there with my Hang Loose Recluse shirt, and I don't really like wearing Hang Loose Recluse shirt around my area because I just don't like to point that out. But I put my Hang Loose Recluse shirt on because I somehow knew that, okay, that's me war clothing. So I'm going to fight this war, this globalist war that they've created, and they have created this war. Because now the whole society thinks that everybody has to enter a hospital and wear a friggin' mask. That is just totally ridiculous. Well, why are the little clinics not forcing that on people? And they're doctors too, you know? It's like, it just doesn't make sense. Heaps of doctors were walking around this place, no mask, at the place where I did get checked and tested within 30 minutes of going in there because they hooked me straight up. But anyway, that's me rant over, guys. I won't go on. I won't bore you with any more of the Hang Loose Recluse rant. I just want to lay down. It's now almost 4 in the afternoon. And I just want to relax and unwind. I'm going to bed. I'm just going to rest because I feel like I need rest. But again, guys, if I cark it and don't survive for the next few days or whatever, because I'm not going to hospital, because I grabbed my paper and said, I'm not waiting another 3 hours, I'm out of here. But just remember, guys, try and keep Joondalup Hospital accountable for my death because, you know, I'm at a point in my life where whatever happens, happens. I don't give a shit. Because if I did, I would have rushed out and went and got the VAX and also wore a mask everywhere I went. Like the people that went out and rushed out, got the 3 vaxes and still wore a mask because I was so fearful of dying from a virus that the government pursued and the mainstream media pursued as so deadly that 99.7% of people that received it survived it, you know. So try and work that out. I can't work that out. But anyway, here is the recording that I did with my phone, and this is pretty full on, guys. So again, if you don't want to hear swearing, tune out now. And for those that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. This is pretty full on. Oh, guys, it's just a crappy phone. I'm going to talk as much as I can, as loud as I can. It's just a shit phone microphone, so bear with me. I'm actually ropeable right now. This is Hang Loose Recluse coming at you fucking ropeable. I was just at Joondalup Hospital. Now, all week I've had chest pains. On the left side, anyway, it's pretty severe. I've been battling on, but today it's been getting worse. So everyone's been telling me in my life, go to the hospital.
I haven't been wanting to go to the hospital because I don't like the fucking bullshit that they put the people up to. All the mask-wearing bullshit. Now, fair enough, oh, you wear a mask behind the doors. I might put one on. And I did one when I sat at the counter just to fucking, get treated, just to not make a scene. But because I dropped a couple of references about them wearing masks, obviously they're making me wait 3 hours to get seen for some fucking chest pain. So if I fucking die, it's on those cunts. I've been at Joondalup Hospital waiting for an hour and a half now, and I got chest pains. What am I supposed to fucking do? What is a person supposed to do in this planet to get seen for fucking potential heart attack shit? I'm 48 years old, for fuck's sake. And these assholes just want to make us wait to teach us a fucking lesson. Well, death has to be starting to put onto these fucking hospitals that are Nazis about the fucking bullshit that they're trying to Nazify. Like trying to make people wear a fucking mask. I fucking tried to go to a doctor, like people kept nagging me all week. Go to the doctor. Go to the hospital. You got chest pains. I fucking did go. They haven't even seen me an hour and a half later. Make you fucking wait. Fuck the hospital. Mark McGowan's a cunt. Hospital system is now a monster. Fuck the hospitals. Fuck this monster they've created. They don't like anyone who's unvaxxed. Obviously, if I'm whinging about masks, they know I'm unvaxxed. They don't like any of us. They treat us fucking second class, these cunts. All these fuckwits that line up in there and comply. Now, my question is to all the fucking Nazi nurses trying to make people put a fucking mask on. Do you go around to all the fucking places that you go into, other people's workplaces, in respect, and put your fucking mask on? No, you fucking don't. Because you're a cunt. That's all I'm going to tell you. You are a fucking cunt. Fuck you. This has been another hang loose recluse, explosive fucking thing, and my chest is fucking killing me. So if I'm dead soon, I don't give a fuck, but fucking blame the hospital. Fuck those cunts. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been listening to another Hang Loose Recluse ranty production. Thank you.